for a 12-week plan, talk a little bit about the way to that it's structured. So with strength work, with speed work, with foundation work, how do you sort of layer those together to have the optimal performance so that you come race day, you've sort of blended them together the right way to get the best out of yourself.
And and it is crucial, because at the end of the week, 12 weeks is even though it's not a humongous amount of time, it's still a good chunk of time, and you need to be able to, it's all about building layers and not having any of those layers topple down. You want to keep building over and over again till you get something like this that's strong, that's resilient, and that you've done everything you can to get yourself perfectly prepared for race day. Starts with the foundation. You need a good aerobic base. That's where you do your long, slow. Then you need to get strength work built in. For me personally, for Ironman distance, strength work is key, because for most of us, even for me as a professional athlete, it's more about strength than it is about speed work with that longer distance. And I did a lot of strength work when I was training specifically for Ironman distance races. And strength work is not about getting a high heart rate, it's about getting strong, and you need to be strong to complete Ironman. And the biggest thing with strength work is you just don't want to overdo it. So if you have a strength day, the next day you need to recover. And the most important thing with Ironman training is getting those recovery days, because if you keep just doing strength day after strength day after strength day, all of a sudden your body's just going to say no more. You need to have time for your body to absorb. I always say, when you go out and do a strength session, leave the hill in your legs, but don't leave your legs in the hill. So it's important that, you want your legs to feel the hill. You want to feel that they've worked hard, but you don't want to leave your legs out there. So when you come home the next day, often after a really tough strength day, I won't do lower body. Or if I do, I'll do a really easy spin. I usually won't run, definitely won't run hard. So that strength building phase, super important, but really, really important that strength work, you're not just creating muscle damage during the session, there's damage done after the session is over, so your muscles are continuing to work and recover post-session, as opposed to a lot of the other sessions you do. So it's really important that after a really hard strength session that you go home, that you recover, that you also make sure that you get a lot of protein back in to help with the recovery process. And then when you move on, after you've done your strength training phase, when you start to bring in that speed work, again, speed work hurts, and again, the recovery is really important in between speed work sessions as well. Need to be done like that. So you need to have that foundation, then you need to get that strength, and then you need to bring in the speed. And the speed's the last thing you need to bring in. And again, really important that when you do the speed work, you do it properly. A lot of us, we think we're doing speed work, and all of a sudden I see people's heart rates, I see their run sessions, and they'll start strong, and then all of a sudden it'll flutter away, and all the sessions end up being the same pace. You really need to make sure in the speed sessions that when it's speed, and when it's easy, it's easy. There has to be that distinction, and I often see the biggest problem we all make is that all of our sessions end up blending into one, and we all end up doing everything the same pace. With the strength session, the biggest mistake I see people make is thinking it has to hurt. I do a strength training session twice a week where I do hill repeats, big gear down in the aero bars, and my heart rate's slow. I don't think my heart rate gets over maybe 130, because it's not about heart rates. Strength work is about strengthening the legs, strengthening the entire body, because you want to be able to keep good technique and be as efficient as you can throughout, well, for most of us, 9 to 14 hours, which is what it takes most of us to do realistically in Ironman. So yeah, for me personally, strength is key, but when it's time to bring in the speed session, the speed into your, and I think it's good for all of us. I think mentally it's good to bring in that speed, even though Ironman, you think, well, why do we need speed in Ironman? But I think it's good for us to have that little bit of speed, and we need it, and we all want to go faster. It makes us feel good as well.